Hello, everybody. As you guys know, my name is Thor. If you guys want to turn your Bibles to John 9, please. Now, as you guys are turning there, as you guys know, I'm from the Toronto Campus Ministry. I've been a disciple now for about 5.5 years, and it's nothing short of a miracle, honestly. You know, growing up as a child, I was spoiled. And I think some of the children know how it feels to be spoiled. You know, we get everything we want. You know, I was the youngest of two, and my mom and my dad always gave me, is this high enough? Sorry. Okay. My mom and dad gave me everything. You know, if I wanted a video game, I got the video game. If I wanted to join a new sport, I got to join a new sport. If I needed new equipment, I got new equipment. And I lived life, honestly, in a protective bubble. You know, my parents gave me everything. They worked 2 jobs, both of them each, just to provide for me and my sister. And I never realized how much they gave for me till I realized it was gone. You know, growing up, my parents, I thought they were superheroes. You know, they did all this stuff. They got me on time to every football game, basketball game, hockey game. Actually, I didn't play hockey, but all those kind of games. And it was so much fun, and I always had my parents to rely on. Then one day, you know, I had finally convinced my parents at the age of 12 to be able to walk home from school alone. You know, my mom always picked me up from school, and it was kind of embarrassing to my friends because I told her, why is your mom taking you home? But my mom, I finally convinced my mom I can walk home from school by myself. And so I was walking home from school, and I was saying goodbye to my friends, and I got home. And when I opened the door to my house, it was different. Something was different. Usually, if you know me, my parents and my sister are exactly like me. They're loud, they're abrasive, they get to a point where you just can't stand me because I'm so loud. And I think some of the campus ministry already know that about me. But my parents are always talking, always singing, always very vibrant in my home. And when I walked in, it was quiet. It felt lonely for some reason. And as I cautiously close the door, I walk into the living room and I see my mom and my dad. They're sitting on the couch and they're just quiet. Obviously something's wrong, so I ask my parents, I say, Mom, Dad, what's wrong? My mom wipes her face and she stands up and she starts walking to the kitchen saying, Thor, do you want something to eat? You know, obviously you see me, I'm always hungry, but at that point, it didn't matter. My mom seemed like she was hurting, so that was more important to me. And so I said, Mom, what's wrong? And when she heard the tone in my voice, she stops. She turns to look at me, and now I can see her face. Her eyes are red, her cheeks are flush. I would find out later it was because she was crying so much. And I say, Mom, please tell me what's wrong, what's going on. And she asked me to sit down on the couch beside my dad, and she takes my hand, and over the next few moments, I'm filled with this overwhelming emotion in my soul as a 12-year-old to realize that my mom was diagnosed with cancer. And at 12 years old, I really don't know what cancer is. I really don't know what it was, but looking at my mom, looking at my dad, seeing the tiredness even on their faces, I've never seen my parents tired. Seeing the tiredness on their face, I realized that this cancer, whatever it was going to affect my family. It was going to affect my mom. And I never really knew how much it would. So over the next few years, I watched my family deal with this new, situation in our lives. I saw my mom fight and continue to fight through this battle. And there were times we had victories. You know, the doctors would come back and they'd go, your mom is healed of cancer. Only to find out a few months later that she has it again. And it was this up and down battle in our lives. And over the next 6 years, I see my dad working 2, 3, 4 jobs just to support our family because my mom cannot work anymore. And at the age of 18, as the cancer continued to spread, I saw my family see this disease also tear apart our family. At the age of 18, I was in school. I was about to graduate, excited. My mom was in the Philippines because she couldn't be supported here anymore. And at the age of 18, she passed away. She had her last breaths at a bed that was foreign to her. with her son and daughter not by her side. Even my dad had been so torn apart by this overwhelming situation that he cheated on my mom, and he was not even in the picture anymore. So my family was broken. And at the age of 18, I didn't even know why the point of living was. You think about life, and I see people working all the time. I see my mom and my dad working so hard to provide for their families, to see their kids grow up to have a life that they can be proud of. Yet for me, see my mom just die a brutal death. And I couldn't understand it. I didn't understand why people would work so hard just for this, just to end their lives in this way. And so for 2 years, from 18 to 20, I didn't care. I dropped out of school, lived on my friends' couches, because I've been living on my own since I was 14, since this cancer obviously took away everything. And I just watched my life go deeper and deeper and darker into a hole. At the age of 20, I got invited out to play some volleyball. I love sports. I don't know if you guys do, but I don't like hockey, but I love sports. And it turns out, my friend, his name is Mark, he's a team minister in Toronto now, but he invited me out. Now, he had been inviting me persistently for 6 years to come out to church. And church, really? No. If he would say things like, "Oh, there's a God and He loves you," and I said, "If there's a God and He created me, then why did He create my mom? Because she didn't deserve that." So I never came to church. But one day he's like, "Come to volleyball." Okay, fine. So I come to volleyball. Turns out it was devotional. So we're playing volleyball and we're having fun and we're hitting and all these things, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Okay guys, let's go sit in a circle." I was like, what's this is not volleyball, what's going on? People start getting their bags, start opening their Bibles, and I said, "Oh, good job, Mark, you got me." And so he sits me down and he starts reading this excerpt from Paul, and Paul's writing, and he says, "The race marked out for you." Like, this is a marathon, and he says, all the battles you may be going through, it could keep going, but it's a marathon. You need to pace yourself. And I was very interested by that. I'm like, this is the Bible. This is what it's about. I thought it was about sitting down and listening for hours upon hours, and some people sleeping through it. But they weren't. They were excited. They were fired up, and I said, okay, this is pretty interesting. And over the next 3 weeks, I'm asked to study the Bible. And on September 26, 2008, I get baptized into Christ. Yeah, 5 years. And over these last 5 years, it has changed me so much. I can't believe where I was to where I'm at now. From seeing friends get baptized to seeing my life being totally turned upside down for Christ. Seeing myself being homeless, a high school dropout, living for nothing in this world, ready to end my life at any given moment, to now being a part of a family in Montreal, being a family across this world that loves one another, and feeling like I do have a family now. And so when I think about the cross, when I think about what Jesus did to sacrifice himself for us, I think that the most important thing to me is God has given us hope. He's given us a peace in our minds and in our hearts. And he's given us this joy that cannot be taken away from us. You know, I look at my story, and sometimes people are shocked and they say, "Why are you now?" I say, it's God. Because God has changed me so much. You know, when I think about this story, people, I say, well, yeah, it's pretty tough. And I remember when I was studying the Bible, I was reading this. In John 9, verse 1, it says, "As he went along, he saw a man blind from birth." Verse 1. Verse 2 now. His disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" "Neither this man nor his parents sinned," said Jesus, "but this happened so that the work of God might be displayed in his life." You know, I see that story and I go, wow, You know, at times I can question why my life is this way. Why my hardships had to happen this way. And it's truly a miracle that I'm here today, and it's to show you, and I can confidently share to you that it's the work of God being displayed in my life. It's the power of God being displayed in my life. And as you guys share with me, as I begin to pray for communion, for the bread and the body, think about the work that has been displayed in your life. God being displayed in your life. All those hardships, all those challenges, all those trials that you go through. At times you can question why it's so hard. Well, God can get you through it and show you that it's Him displaying Himself in your life. Let's pray.